Thank you for joining us on the Positive Impact Reality Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brian Headley, and I have with me my co-host.
Darrell John.
Hey, Darrel, what's happening, man?
Oh, it's another lovely day. Grateful to be alive and just ready for this new episode.
Yeah, sounds good,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's a beautiful day here in Kentucky, and just enjoying this day, every moment. And so we were talking about um, manifestation the Neville Goddard way earlier, Darrel. And there were some insights to that me and you found out by listening to some of the lectures that Neville has done in the past. And
Right.
yeah. So what are some of the insights that you and I discussed? What do you want to elaborate on?
Sure. Definitely like s- sensory vividness in terms of reality, kind of what that means. Um, and perhaps some key points where missing the mark. And even if we think we're missing the mark, maybe we're not all the time. We just don't know what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all about learning. And the more that, just like yesterday, the more I realized, this whole co-creation thing is more of a reality than the things that I've been taught throughout the years.
Right.
It still continues to blow my mind to think that when we put our thoughts into action, which isn't always just a physical action, but it's the action of the thought that starts to come into play that creates the action.
Right. Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand. Yeah,
yeah,
it starts with the your your action that you think about, and then you go do the things you're thinking about and bring
right.
it to reality. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So some of the things that Neville was talking about is for those who are pretty new to manifestation. Um, I think the first step you got to realize is everything you do for manifestation has to deal with your imagination, pretty much, and you have to visualize the things you desire, you wish for, and the main thing is to believe they already had happened, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So your
And
wish, yeah,
it just blows my mind to think that, you know, people and even myself, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that, that's never going to happen. But yet these things seem to happen. And I think that that's right there. I think that sets the tone for the realization, meaning that, there's haters and doubters out there, and they don't understand why some people achieve and some don't. And I'd even go so far to say maybe that's only like 3% of the population. I don't know.
yeah,
Uh, I'm not a good stats guy, so
right.
but I throw that in with the whole realm of people who are successful, but because I believe that also goes hand in hand.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure that a lot of people use manifestation who are, wealthy and successful in one way or form or another. Neville had a unique way of doing it. Like he always talked about before you go to sleep, you get in a drowsy state, and then you think about the thing you desire. You imagine it in your mind and use all your senses. And I think in one of his lectures, he's talking about the four gates. There's four gates, like your sight is one gate and it points to a certain direction. There's four cardinal points. Touches on the west, and so on. That's pretty cool. Um, there's some people out there that might not be able to use their imagination like that to make create a sensory perception. And he also discussed, using at least one of those gates, open up one of those gates, one sense, I guess, like touch being probably the most powerful one. That's
Right.
cool. I like that. So,
We just thinking about the different perceptions that we have, our sight, our smell, scent,
mhm.
taste, uh, and I just think about that because you know sometimes I just sit and think about being at the beach and smelling that nasty dead fish smell. I mean, that's not a complaint. That's just
Yeah.
like a realization. Like, and that's what I think about. I should say that the ocean doesn't always smell like dead fish, but
All right.
I think a lot of people can fathom exactly what I'm talking about, and using in your mind descriptive wording for yourself to create the image, um, and to build it up. For example, I can give that I had over a year ago where I I was in a grocery store, a Filipino grocery store,
Uh-huh.
and I just stood for like a few moments, closed my eyes, and I literally like thought of like I was like standing in uh, the Philippines. Don't know where Philippines, but it looked familiar in the sense that when I was there 5 years ago, I saw, but it was just like an instantaneous flash. Like I was standing and I was just looking around, and then I came
Mhm.
back and I
Hmm.
realized that that to me that's like your sensory vividness like taking over your and making it a reality. And
Yeah.
um, so when especially thinking about Neville Goddard, the feeling is a secret. I really feel like this is like it's the part of like building out your dream where you're practicing using your senses, sans the true thing, meaning using your mind to recapture like this smell of beach, because you might not be near the beach, but if you think about, oh, what will that beach smell like, or what will this look like,
Right.
I think it's super those are super important. Of course, there's things that we haven't done, but we can with the power of the internet. I mean, we can find images
Right.
of things that we want to accomplish, magazines, books, um,
Yeah.
and create that imagery in the mind so that we can put ourselves to work, um, in that realm.
Right. Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah. You can, yeah. I believe you can use like images and, stuff like that to, if there's a place you want to go, you know, look up the image on the computer. You want to go to Rome and check out Rome and, pull up an image of Rome where you want to go and use that as your visualization, where you use the site. And then you want to start expounding on, the more senses you bring into it, perceptions of sense, the more vivid it becomes and more um, easier to manifest, I would say. So I would like pull up an image of Rome, and I would like be able to smell the air, the see the people walking around, maybe shake hands with someone, say hello, something like that. Touch the walls of the old buildings in the city, just different things, just depends where you want to go and what you want to do. And just keep imagining that every time you go to sleep, you imagine you're there and incorporate all your sensory perceptions. And,
Right.
you know, sort of like lucid dreaming, where you have these dreams that are so real that you feel like you're really there. For example, I was dreaming one time I was in India, and it was dark out, and I was walking a path through the, I wouldn't say the jungle, but it was, it wasn't in the jungle, but it was like on the outskirts of a town or village, I was
Hmm.
walking a path on the outside of a village, and it was so vivid, I was really there. And actually talked to someone from India. He was at one of the food marts in the town I lived at, and we was talking about India. And I said, "Yeah, I've been there in my dream. It was so real. I had to have been there."
Hmm.
And he just looked at me funny. But
Right.
yeah, but they don't understand. That's some people don't understand that you can actually do that. And like I think there was something Neville was talking about that he had dreamed, or his nephew was sick, and they lived in Barbados. He lived in Barbados with his mother, which was Neville's sister. And
Right.
he went to lay on his bed, and he imagined that he was in the bed where his nephew was at instead of him. And his sister walked in. He could see his sister there, standing there talking to him. And
Right.
then, like the next day, he called her up or got a hold of her, and she said, "Yeah, I seen you last night. It wasn't my son. It was you sitting laying there in bed." So
Right. I think it was a
that's
letter
wild.
she sent to him. That's
Yeah,
right.
a letter. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's pretty wild. Huh?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I totally agree because just to think about that dreaming, like there was a time years ago in my 20s, like I had this dream that I'm just gonna say I flew to China, not on a plane,
yeah,
but I was there, and a lot of it felt real. What I was doing, I'm not really sure, because it was almost like it's almost like I flew there in a magic carpet. Now I can't say I'm really geared to go to China. Not that I'd have anything against it,
right.
but this is like years ago, before I even came across any of these understandings. Of course, I also dabbled with some other not so great things, caused some issues in my life, but don't do that anymore. Um, but yeah, I think that it's just really important to draw that picture in your mind and just think about it. Not in a, but here's the thing that I listening to Neville's lectures. I don't force the thought. Like sometimes they just come to me and then I let it ride. Does,
Yeah,
does that make sense?
yeah,
Like because I think if you push yourself into the concentration that and it might even backfire on you. Um,
right.
but also, I think that's part of why they say, have a vision board.
Mhm.
And I still have, I have like a picture of like Corone. I have a picture of the Chocolate Hills, and I don't know what other beach in the Philippines,
Huh.
and I still see the guy who's skydiving. I'm just like, oh yeah,
That'd be cool. Right.
yeah,
So you have
um,
you can build your goals and your desires on a vision board too. That's awesome. I love that.
yeah, yeah, and I believe that's just that whole part of manifesting. Of course, I have been in and out of like different business opportunities, and they don't tell you that, or maybe they don't know, but now I think I understand even more why. There's the whole vision board. It's about what you're building in here
Yeah,
to get there,
right.
because
You got to build it.
it has to all start on the inside.
Right. Yeah, your
Yeah,
subconscious mind is very powerful. And what you repeatedly, let it absorb, which it doesn't
right,
know the difference between reality and the real, the physical world we're living in. And fantasia or whatever you want to call it, or vivid perceptions, imagination. It just tries to seek out that desire that you have, whether it's real or not. When you assume that your imaginary desire is real, then your subconscious has to make it come to physical reality. Does that?
right.
Oh,
And thinking about that, the other thing people may not know that Neville Goddard was also an actor, and I think in thinking of that, I also think that we could learn a lot from actors, meaning there's some of the best actors have used their sensory vividness, if you will,
Yeah.
to create themselves into that reality for that part in
Right.
whatever movie production they are,
Yeah.
going to apply or got hired for, right?
Right.
And I think that, it's, if we have that approach, obviously we're not paid actors, but
Right. But
at the same time, to use that sort of methodology to make yourself who you want to be, where you want to go. There's something to be said about the acting, and I think perhaps
yeah,
that's also
that's a
part of why
good,
people. Good.
yeah, that's really good. That's a good way to look at it, man, and connect how manifestation works. Um, yeah, like an actor has to become that, become that role, and yeah, like you
Right.
said, he takes it makes it reality while he's doing it. He becomes that character
Right.
person, whether it be Hamlet or Julius Caesar, Macbeth or whatever. Like Shakespeare said, we're just merely actors, and the world's a stage. And
Right.
it's
Be
true.
who you want to be.
Yeah, be who you want to be, and use that desire and manifest it in your life. Yeah, true.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Um, you can accomplish anything you want.
yeah, you can. That's true.
Yeah.
So when you go to sleep and you imagine, that you assume that your wish or desire has already been fulfilled, and you go into the sleep, there's some magic that happens. Neville's described that happens while you're sleeping. That your
Right.
subconscious mind that it creates this reality in this external world, externalizes it. Once you get to the most I guess vivid perception of it.
Right.
And then I was listening to Dr. Joseph Murphy too, and he was talking about the same thing right before you go to sleep. Visualize um, your wish, desire fulfilled, and when you wake up, the sun will wake. The sun comes up, and you know that it's been done. Oh, and another thing, I think he talks about having gratitude while you're doing it, just being grateful when you have that wish, when you're imagining that wish or desire fulfilled, you're being grateful that it's already been done before you
Hmm.
go to sleep. That's really important too. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, I agree, because I think if you're not thankful for anything, why should you have more?
Right, exactly.
Or anything, really.
Yeah, you give the universe gratitude. It loves that.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, be thankful every day. Even when I wake up, just say something that you're grateful for.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a good practice. It is.
yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, you said something about Fantasia and aphantasia. Now, obviously, there are people out there who say that they can't visualize. Now, I don't, you don't have to be able to just see. You can feel things in your mind too. And I know I've done it, where I think about a certain thing and what that might feel like, and literally sometimes it's like the hair standing up on my head and my skin. It's like, whoa, that's creepy. Or just talking about something, that you don't have to say it, but you just have to feel it.
Yeah.
um, you know and you can use your other senses. I mean, we're not limited to just the five senses in a sense,
Oh
but
no.
I,
Exactly.
the imagery in the mind, um, because different things are coming to you in different ways, and obviously we have to be paying attention.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think the ancient Egyptians, they believed that we had more than five senses. I don't know how many right offhand, but I like to know how many different senses we actually have. And I think intuition is probably one of them, where you can feel or sense things unknown, or um, maybe clairvoyance, something like that. There are some different things that we have some different senses or gifts that
Right.
we can use if we can, search them out and figure out how to use them.
No, I totally believe we are beyond the senses
Yeah,
that science presents to us. Uh, I say, because sometimes you just know and and you don't know why but and then you
right.
find out you're right, and that's to me that's sometimes that's the creepy part, and I don't say creepy in the sense of oh that's so bad, but it's like oh my god that was
Yeah.
right. How did I know that? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or how did I instinctually understand something's going on here?
Right.
Um, so no, you're absolutely right. It's more than what um, we've been taught. You
Yeah.
know, we need to go beyond. We need to go beyond our 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 public education
Yeah.
to really have an understanding. If you want to understand yourself, I found more truthful things in texts that are not presented in the public schools or even private for all that matters.
Right.
And and I can see them, but yet I've gone to school and I just see all this stuff and it's like there's no practical application, there's no
Yeah, exactly.
relevancy to your life to it other than someone wants to create your relevancy in your life and that's what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
You're so right, man. We get conditioned by society or you know, um, I don't know the word, but from our own family group or society, our teachers, we get programmed to believe certain ways, and
Oh yeah.
you know, and and a lot of it, I have to say, is limiting us in a lot of ways. There are a lot of
Sure
things
is.
we learn that limit us, and we got to break. Once you learn that, you have been programmed to believe certain false beliefs, or um, that you weren't revealed the whole truth about what this life is and how to be successful, or whatever you desire. You have this ability, this gift to do it. I think we're all connected to a universal conscious that knows everything, that has created everything, and how did it create? I think it's one of the things in Neville Goddard's lectures he talks about is to act like the creator yourself when you want to manifest and create your own reality. And that's pretty interesting that you can actually act like God. And how would he create something out of nothing? He would go into a visionary, everything. He would create it in his imagination, and that's what it's all about.
Well, I can certainly say for myself, and I'll skate that fine line just because I've studied so much. Is that, I mean, when you read the Bible, I mean, there's a passage that says, "Are you not gods?" I mean, it's like, yes, we are because we are God material, meaning we were created from the substance of that greater power, who God is, and so we are connected in some
Yeah,
way,
right.
spiritually, through a telephone cord. I don't know.
We're linked. We're linked to the. We all have the. We're linked to universal consciousness. I believe. Yeah,
Right.
somehow in our
And it,
minds,
yes,
in our
exact,
subconscious, somewhere.
exactly.
And that's why when people pray, they reach to God or whatever, and the universe, that their answers get prayed, they get
The
answered.
prayers get answered. Yeah.
Yeah, the prayers get answered because God, they have this link, and I think you have to do it in a certain way, or it just falls short. But that's probably a different topic for a different discussion. But
Yeah, absolutely, Brian.
that's cool. We all have this God particle in us, and every one of
DNA.
us, and we are made in His image. And if you use the word image, that's where the imagination comes from, you know. We're made in
Right.
imagination, and I love that, man, that we all have this special power abilities to co-create in this universe. Heck, we could probably create a different planet if we wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe we could
I
create
mean,
an island or something on this world. I don't know.
who knows? I mean, anything's possible. I mean, you know, sometimes I peek in media and see, oh, new creature species found, blah blah blah, or this or that. And I'm like, no, nothing's new under the sun.
Right,
That's my opinion.
right.
Um,
It's always been
it's
there.
just we just discovered it, you know,
Yeah.
or maybe it did because you know. Anyways, I think we're just getting too far off the path, so I'm
Okay.
gonna stop here.
All right. Yeah, it's time is running out anyways. That was a good discussion. I really liked it. But anyways, guess we'll go ahead and end the podcast and let people decide for themselves, with this information and use it if you want and try it out. You know, you gotta prove it and see if it be a faith, like Neville said.
Oh, exactly.
All right, man. It's been nice talking to you, Darrell.
All right. You have a wonderful day, Brian. And
You
until
too.
next time,
Till next time. Later.
manifest your dreams.
There you go. Manifest your dreams.
All right.